Today we're going to be exploring how to capture a sense of movement and energy in our drawings. My name is Orla and I'm an artist and an illustrator, and my work is deeply inspired by nature, by landscape and by being outside. A big part of responding to all of these themes and inspirations is gathering that sense of aliveness, of energy in my drawings. And so today I wanted to share with you 3 exercises that I've been really falling back on in the last few months to help me practice gathering that sense of energy in my work. I'm also going to be sharing with you 3 tips along the way that I think have been really helpful in my own art practice. Today the theme is simplicity and making things easy. So for materials, you could just use something as simple as a pencil. I'm going to be demonstrating these exercises, exercise 1 with some Japanese watercolours and this little water brush. And then in exercise 2 and 3, I'll be moving on to using the Derwent Inktense blocks. To get us started, exercise 1 is all about speed. For me, I have found speed to be the #1 thing to help me gather more gestural marks in the simplest way possible. This video was actually requested from 2 lovely people who left comments on my YouTube channel, and their requests were how to capture what we can see around us when we're out walking really simply. A lot of the times when we're sketching outdoors or gathering inspiration, we are maybe with friends or family, and maybe people don't want to wait for us so much, or maybe it is freezing where you are, maybe the weather's really bad and you just want to get out there, gather some very simple references to work from back in the studio. So this exercise is brilliant for that. Exercise 1 is going to be drawing from a video which I sped up to 600 times the speed. You can either do this yourself, speeding up your footage, or taking a time lapse on your phone, or you can access the videos that we'll be drawing from together over on my Patreon page, the Outdoor Sketchbook Collective, as a free resource to work from. So to get us started, exercise 1 is like a warm-up. I'm going to be working in my sketchbook with my watercolours, and we're going to be working to timed drawings. We're going to be starting out with a 1-minute timed drawing, working our way all the way down to 5 seconds. And you're going to be very impressed by what you can capture in those 5 seconds. The first drawing that I'm doing here is a 1-minute timed drawing. We're then moving down to 30 seconds, then 20, then 10, and then 5. So in a very short space of minutes, we're going to get a lot of drawing and a lot of movement and energy down to the page. I've chosen to focus on a demonstrative approach for this exercise so that you can see how I'm moving and what I'm capturing. But if you'd like to draw along with this video, you'll find the footage that you can currently see in the bottom left-hand corner over on my Patreon, and you can open that up in a new tab and sketch along with me. Otherwise, feel free to grab your own videos to work from and make the sketches even more personal to you. I'm always looking for more ideas to try when it comes to working on the move, working outside, and getting more movement into my drawings. So if you've got an exercise or an approach or a process that really helps you out, I'd love to hear about it, and I'm sure that other people watching this video would too. So feel free to leave me a little suggestion in a comment down below, and I'd love to give it a go. The 3 exercises that we're exploring in this video all are in response to video footage. However, if you're able to get outside in the landscape, it's always the best to work from life. However, because that's not always accessible to us, depending on where we are or the time of day, it's great to take footage when you're out on a walk and to be able to draw when you're back in the house or the studio. And if you're looking for an added challenge, why not try these exercises whilst you're out and about walking on the move? When you've got that added level of coordination, your drawings are going to be even more wild, more loose and more instinctive. And it's a lot of fun, as long as you make sure you've got clear footing in front of you before you do so. Here are my drawings. This one is starting from 1 minute, so it's probably got the most visual information. Moving down to the 30 seconds, then the 20 seconds, then the 10 seconds, and last but not least, the 5 seconds. And what you can see here, moving from the simplest to the most dense to the longer time, is almost like the stages of abstraction appearing. And these are lovely little exercises which you can take forwards to develop further paintings from, all sorts of things. But now that we are suitably warmed up, we're going to move on to exercise 2. For exercise 2, as you can see, I have taped off some thumbnail boxes in my sketchbook, and I just quite like this because it gives you some clean lines at the end. This exercise is all about capturing a sense of the landscape in as minimal or as few lines as possible. We're going to start in our top left box by permitting ourselves an unlimited number of lines, so as many as we like. You might end up with hundreds, you might end up with 50, whatever floats your boat. And we're going to work through each square all the way down to the bottom right-hand square. And in this one, we're going to try and use as few as possible. It might just be 2 lines. Challenge yourself to try that. This is a lovely exercise in just understanding how much you can say with as little as possible. I'm going to be using my Derwent Inktense blocks, and I'm just going to be using one colour, again, to keep it simple. So we're going to start from the top left, work our way down to the bottom right, and I'm going to be working from a different video reference this time, just to shake things up a little bit. The video reference I'm sketching from this time around is 15 seconds in length, so that's probably how long I'm going to sketch for in each of these squares. But feel free to loop your video or work for as long as you want in each square. So again, we're starting with as many lines as we want. And the video that I'm working from is a panorama, and it's like moving around the landscape. So I'm getting loads of different kind of mountains layering up as I'm working there. I'm going to hit play again, and this time try and reduce it down. Okay. And again. Each time I'm doing this, I am noticing the different shapes that I actually like when I'm looking at the landscape, and I'm feeling no obligation to capture everything. This is a really great exercise for making you understand what it is you like about what you're looking at. and how much you actually need. With this exercise as well, it might be actually about working slower as you get through to the different drawings. By the end, you might be working very slowly and giving yourself the time to choose each line as you want it. Last two. And then our final one, I'm going to try and do 3 lines on this. So which are the ones I really want? Maybe the headland here, fill that in. And then this big mountainous one too. I'm going to leave it there actually, 2 lines, there we go. So that is our exercise. I'm now going to remove the tape and see what these sketches look like with a bit more space around them. For exercise 3, I've taped off a new set of squares and we're going to be doing the same thing again. We're building upon exercise 2, working from dense lines down to simple lines. But this time around, what we're going to do is we're going to consider the type of lines which are important to us. We're already starting to get a bit of a natural variation, having wider lines, thinner lines, sharper, heavier lines, softer lines. But this time around, we're going to bring in just 1 or 2 more tools to help us access a slightly more considered range of marks. I'm going to bring in my water brush and I'm also going to bring in a cloth so I can wipe the medium around the page. And these 3 things together are going to give me a wider range. I should be able to get a colour wash by adding water, and I should be able to get a range of textures using the cloth together with what you can already see from exercise 2. So find yourself 1 or 2 more tools to bring into this exercise and let's give it another go. We're going to do the same thing, working from the same video, having however long your video is to create each square, each sketch, and let's see the difference that that gives us. Again, we're starting with an unlimited number of lines. And again. What I find really interesting is how adding in different tools, different drawing tools like brushes or cloths changes the composition of what we want to capture. For instance, when I'm using this ink block, I just want to capture line. But then the minute I bring in the brush, I want to capture like more areas of colour. And then when I bring in the cloth, I want to move more with my tool. We're starting to try and simplify those lines down a bit more, as we were doing earlier. How much can we say with how little, rather? And our last one, aiming for 3. There we go. To wrap up this video, I wanted to leave you with 3 takeaway tips that I think you can use to elevate these exercises and push your drawing forwards. The first tip is to consider your whole range of motion. I am sure I've said this in a past video, but I can't understate how important it is. You have all of this range of movement all the way from your shoulder through to your elbow, through to your wrist and your knuckles and your fingertips. And if you engage all of the whole arm, you're going to get such a wider range of movement, and that in turn is going to give you more movement in your work. You can do simple things like warming up by rolling your shoulders like you would before you did any sport. Drawing's kind of physical as well, so it's good just to give your body a wee shake to get yourself ready and to remind yourself that you do have so much more than we probably use normally. The second tip is to, again, I've said it before, but hold your tool in your hand very loosely, any other way than you would to hold it like a writing implement. A really nice way to do this to kind of unlock more motion with your tools is just to hold it at the end, at the tip, and that's going to give you a much wider range of movement in your work. The last tip is to go into these exercises with no judgment on your drawings. They don't need to look like anything, they do not need to be good, and it's really a space to let yourself play and just to explore with no pressure of outcome. This is not about being good or making good drawings, and if you can, do your best to remove any sense of judgment on yourself. You'll always make your best work if you're not judging yourself. So this is a really good way to practice allowing yourself that grace, if you like, allowing yourself that judgment-free zone in your sketchbooks or in these warm-up exercises. As I said at the beginning of this video, I think a key way to help bring more movement and energy into the work is if we're feeling really relaxed and things are nice and simple. So on the notion of simplicity, over on my Patreon page, I'll be sharing a video tutorial exploring some very simple compositional ideas. These are little ideas which you can take forwards when you're out and about sketching and use as frameworks, very simple rules to help underpin the sketches that you create when you're out and about. I think having these really simple frameworks can really help bring some more structure to your drawing sessions and help grow confidence by knowing that you're capturing what you need in your sketching sessions outdoors. If you'd like access to even more resources like this one to help you find more space for play in your art practice or in your life, to help you find more space for loosening up and self-expression, I share video tutorials as well as hosting online workshops, sharing recordings of those online workshops, hosting co-working calls, and a whole range of other good stuff. That's over on Patreon at the Outdoor Sketchbook Collective. Thank you so much for watching this video, and as always I love to see what people create, so if you do sketch using these exercises you can tag me over on Instagram, either at Orla Stevens or at the Outdoor Sketchbook Collective, and use the hashtag the Outdoor Sketchbook Collective for me to find your work easily. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you outside.